They're the suburbs where vaccines are hard to find, and residents fear they're being left behind as they edge closer to opening up. But not everyone is on board with getting jabbed, and it reached boiling point today.
Case numbers have been surging.
It's the Great Vax Divide.
We need more. We just need to throw all resources we possibly can in the north.
The local government area of Hume in Melbourne's northwestern suburbs, home to 250,000 residents, which also has another unwanted title, being the least vaccinated LGA in Victoria, behind Melbourne City.
And community leaders say it's not that people don't want the vaccine, they simply can't get it.
8 GPs is certainly not enough.
Around 90% of Victoria's COVID cases are in the northern and western suburbs. Despite that, Pfizer's around twice as accessible in Melbourne's southeast. In Hume, there's around one doctor or pharmacist offering Pfizer for every 10,600 residents.
As of about a week and a half ago, there were only 8 GPs administering Pfizer in this municipality.
It's chaos and confusion.
Local GP Dr John Hodgson is currently in isolation after his clinic was exposed to the virus twice. He says COVID cases are exploding.
We've estimated that it's perhaps 1 in 200 people, and in which case, if you go to a supermarket or come to a clinic the size of ours, there's probably 1 to 2 people a day who would be COVID positive in those environments.
Experts are blaming a dangerous mix of misinformation, language barriers and a vaccine shortage.
In a place like New South Wales, where 50% of the rollout has been through general practices, here the majority of the heavy lifting has been through the state hubs. I think that really is an indictment on the way the federal government have managed the rollout.
Hume Mayor Joseph Hawil.
There should have been a greater rollout through GPs because they're the trusted local source for people.
We're encouraging, prominent people in the community to sort of make a statement.
Adil Salman is president of the Islamic Council of Victoria, which represents a large proportion of the community.
I think the government didn't do enough initially to actually reach out to local communities.
We're just doing a walk-in today. We didn't have an appointment because our appointment's till November, 2nd of November, so we couldn't wait that long. That's a long time. Yeah, so we prefer to get it done now.
I think, yes, it's a young population, so they started already behind because the youngest were not targeted initially.
Pop-up hubs have now been set up as Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews announced the state's roadmap out of lockdown. It spurred on some to come out first thing for their first jab.
Because I want to be safe, and I want everybody to know that it's safe to do it. And they shouldn't be scared to do it because at the end of the day, if you do it, you're not going to die. And there's a lot of people dying.
To save our life and save our community, save everyone, better to get vaccine.
But Victoria's plan to freedom hasn't been as well received everywhere, with tradies turning on union boss John Setka in Melbourne over news the state government is mandating vaccines for construction workers. They're not the only ones taking aim at the government, with business leaders branding Victoria's plan out of lockdown a roadmap to nowhere. Melburnians will be given fewer freedoms compared to our northern cousins when we reach key vaccination milestones.
It's shocking. No, not happy. Not happy at all. It's taking too long.
Debbie from the Al Rosha bakery in Broadmeadows has watched her neighbours disappear.
We had a different business next door. She closed shop last year because of all the lockdowns. She couldn't pay rent. She couldn't, make her way because it was closed. The shop next to her has been sold like twice since we've been here, and we just took over last year.
I think that with everything that we're experiencing here and the surging cases, there's been a real realisation in the community that people have to get out there and get vaccinated.
As long as there's a light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully we'll get out of it safely.